Hi guys, this is Salome Basi, and welcome to Real Estate with Sally. So, if you're new to my channel, please indulge you to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification button so whenever I post a video, you'll be among the first few persons to view. So, we've been having this episode going for a while now, and this is the third episode. And today, we want to talk about a very, very important topic that has been on my mind. I mean, I've read a lot about this topic and been making researches and asking questions. I'm still learning. I'm still learning the nitty-gritties in real estate, and I can only, I'm still learning. So I have to fall back on people that have been there for over 20, 30 years, and they're actually damn good at this. That is why I brought in Mr. Kayode, my mentor here in the real estate space, to talk about this very topic. Is it okay to buy an excision in progress property? I know you've been seeing a lot of properties like that. Like you've seen a lot of properties with excision in progress, excision in progress. I actually even read a blog post the other time. As a matter of fact, after reading that blog post, I was scared. I was like, really? After reading that blog post, I was scared. The blog post is owned by a real estate attorney, so he was hinged on the fact that you should never ever buy a property with excision in progress that isn't a good property. All right, he didn't actually say it's not a good property, but he put it that it's a gamble. That this thing might happen, this thing might not happen. You might get excised, the property might get excised, it might not get excised. And for a while, I was actually of that school of thought. I was like, okay, that's right. That means whenever I see a property with excision in progress, I'm not going to market it. I'm not going to tell anyone to buy it. Bro, as I said, learning is a process. You get to learn. And real estate is a very, very deep space. That is why before the advent of social media and everything, the people that were practicing real estate were all these people in their 60s, 70s, 90s, all those baba old people. They were the ones really doing real estate. They're like, if you talk about land and they're like, you're young, they're like, does this person know? Because these are deep stuff. So you have to get to the root. You have to study deep to get to know well, and when you know what you're marketing, you know what you're talking about. So it's not just about some things you just read online. It's not just about how popular a blog is or a site is. So it's that deep stuff. So I have someone that has that depth. I'm going to be dealing with this topic. Is it okay? Is it okay? Is it okay? Is it right to buy a property with excision in progress? So this is Mr. Kayode, my very mentor, someone I respect so much in the real estate space, someone I've learned so much from when I decided to go into real estate and study and market land properties, because I just didn't want, my brand is very important, my integrity and my loyalty to you. I owe it to you to give you what is right and what is right. So I was having him talk about this topic. So Mr. Kayode, please do us the honor.
Excision in progress. Proposed excision. Or excision in process, whatever it is. Okay. How do I even start this? Now, this is the truth.
All right.
Okay. A lot of people talk about excision in progress and they say, don't buy it, land is bad, when it's excision in progress, run from it, it is scam, it is this, it is that, a lot of things like that, but this is the truth of the matter. The fact that the land has excision ongoing does not make it a scam. It does not make it a bad land to buy. Now, should you go ahead and buy it? I'm not saying you should go ahead and buy it, but it does not mean that it's a bad land to buy. Of course, have you not seen people who bought a land with C of O that have issues with it? Do you understand? People have bought land that have C of O's, governor's consent, and then it turned out that they bought a bad land. It turned out that they bought a scam. Do you get what I'm saying? So the fact that it has its excision ongoing does not mean that the land is bad. It only means that the title document has not been perfected yet.
All right.
Now, how do you now know if the land is actually bad or not? Now, the first stage of land search should be that you should confirm whether the land is under free acquisition or under committed acquisition. Okay. If the land is under free acquisition, it means that the land can be regularized. It means that a good title document can be processed on the land. If it's under completed acquisition, it means that you cannot regularize the land, or you cannot get a proper title document on the land, because the government has mapped out that same land for public use. So what you need to confirm first is whether the land is under free acquisition. If it's under free acquisition, that means the land is good. That's number one. Number two is this. You need to confirm. Now, because the action is ongoing now, for a lot of companies, because I've worked with a number of real estate organizations, for some of them, they've actually filed for the excision in the government. So they have what is called an excision file number. If you take it to Alausa, they will tell you that okay, they've opened a file for the land, but they've not completed the process yet. That's number one. For some of them, they tell you it's excision in progress, but they've not even filed for the excision at all. They don't have an excision file number. Now, that is not good to do. If you have not started the excision process at all, why tell people that the excision is in progress? That is not a good way to sell your property. Now that you know that, and what you need to find out next is to know if the company selling to you as the family deed. Now, before any title document can be processed with the government, whether it is excision, whether it is COO, before you can present title document, the government will ask you to provide your family deed of assignment. That family deed shows that you are the rightful owner of that property, that you bought it from the family that has the right to the property. That's why if you check an original COO document, you would see on that same COO the list of all the family members from the Olori Ebi in quotes, you understand, to the list person, to the Bale and everything. You see their names on that certificate of occupancy document. You would see their names there. So that will tell you that the COO does not stand on its own. You understand? The COO stands on something. So the COO is granted you on the strength that you have the family of assignment of the family that sold that land to you. That's what it's called. They call it, although it's not a legal term, but they call it root title. You understand? That you are the rightful owner of the property, that you are the rightful person that bought the property from the original family that owns that property. That's a family deed of assignment. So for some people, once you can confirm that the family deed of assignment that the real estate company is carrying is genuine, if you want to go ahead and buy the land, you can do it. You understand? But you don't have to buy it, that's the truth, because even for me too, I don't sell properties with excision in progress as titles. And the reason I don't sell it is this. It's not because the land is bad. That's not why I don't sell it. The reason I don't sell it is simply because I prefer to sell a land that the documentation has been completed, has been perfected. You understand? So at least on both ends you are covered. But it does not mean that it is scam if the excision is still in progress. Now, for some real estate company that I've personally talked to myself, this is what they do when they are selling land with excision in progress. For instance, if they are filed for excision on a property that's about, let's say, 100 acres, just for argument's sake, what they normally do is this. They don't get to sell the whole of 100 acres. They could sell like maybe 70 acres or 60 acres out of the land and keep the rest aside, in case something happens. Because sometimes the government, or let me say most times, the government may not grant excision on all the acres of land that you filed for. You understand? So to put themselves on a safe side, you understand, they leave out some of the properties. They leave out some of the acres of land and not sell at all. You understand? So in case the government does not grant some of them, they know that their loss is covered a little bit. That's what the genuine companies do. But for some companies, they just sell everything without minding. One has to be careful as well. You understand? So there are a lot of controversies on excision in progress. So I will not accurately advise that you go ahead and buy a property that's undergoing excision. Do you get what I'm saying? But it does not mean that the land is bad. If the land is free, you understand, that means you can regularize it. That means you can process a title document on the land. So it does not make the land bad. You understand? So the question now is this: can I go ahead and buy it? I'm not saying you should go ahead and buy it, but if you want to, yes, you can. Do you get what I'm saying? No? But it does not make it scam. If you don't want to buy, the reason you don't want to buy is just because the tax document has not been perfected yet, not because the land is scam. So it's not a scam, as people call it. Do you get what I'm saying? No? So that's just what Excision in progress means for short.
Okay, that was a really intense one. That was a good one. But professionally, Ms. Kayode, do you think it's even right? It's like there are processes to everything.
Yeah.
So why not do your job first before you tell someone? I mean, you should do your job first. You don't just sell half-baked bread and say it's a bread, it's still bread. It doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
So
that's a challenge with Excision. That's challenge. And the truth of the matter is this: for the last Excision that was granted in Lagos State was probably under Governor Fashola's regime.
Wow. Since then.
Yes, that was any Excision now. If you see any Excision that claims to have been granted after Governor Fashola's regime, that Excision is a fake Excision because nobody did not grant any
people
Excision.
Have the guts. I mean, it's like putting people at risk, people's money at risk, by asking people to go ahead and buy a property. Like the last Excision was this Fashola, and that's not fair now. That's not
Governor
fair.
did not grant anybody any Excision.
It's not ethical.
And Governor Sanwo-Olu has not grant anybody yet any Excision.
So you don't even know when.
So we don't know when we'll start granting Excision. You understand? But we hope that it will be very soon, and we hope that we under this regime. So all of the properties that are yet to be perfected can start the protection.
But I think that should violate ethical practices in real estate. I think there should be ethical. There should be ethics. One of the ethics you shouldn't do. You do your job first, like before you now bring in people. You clear your house.
Yeah, and in fact, the last meeting that was held with Lagos State government, and that was early this year, I think, early this year or late last year. It was said in that meeting that all property, all real estate companies selling land in Excision in progress should stop selling them until the ones that are undergoing Excision currently have been completed, and then they can now talk about that. They should stop selling them. So that's one of the reasons why I don't sell property Excision in progress, and we don't sell it too now. We don't do it. Do you get what I'm saying now? So I feel that every real estate company should perfect that document before starting to sell properties Excision in progress. But the truth still remains that the fact that the Excision is in progress does not mean
The
that
property
the
is
property is
bad.
bad.
Alright.
You understand? It does not mean that property is bad.
So that's good. As this is the cut and take on this for you as well. If you're buying a property, there are processes. Everything has a processes. So when you skip your job, when you fail to do your job, the developer selling the property to you has a job to sell a good property, to do his due work before selling properties to you. You as well buying a property, you have a job, you have an obligation before buying into any property. There are due processes. Verify after having an idea of what you want. You have to go through the process of verifying a property. Contract, don't be afraid to take that little money you use in verifying a property. Know if a property is actually legitimate or not. It will save you a lot more from millions you would have wasted over time from buying a bad property. So take through that process and verify the property before you buy. So this is stay tuned for another episode coming. I'm not going to talk about the topic we're talking about because I want you to be involved. I want you to subscribe to the channel and watch this video for yourself too. You're going to learn a lot so much. We're not just talking about real estate. There's certain things going on in the real estate space and how to address it. So this is Salome Pasi again, and this is Mr. Kayode. So let's go to the next topic, and I hope I see you there. Catch you.